The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
So I think it is a variety of things. We knew that the ISB investigation had started or was subpoenaed to be submitted to the state in July. When we reached out to them as far as the timeline that could take, we didn't really get one. The state is overburdened, I think, with the amount of things that they're doing and with their ISB complaints. And so we were told, if you don't hear something by December, reach out to us. So we feel like that's a lot of time that we need to be responsible for our district and how we're going to move forward with it. We did weigh a lot of options on what we could do. The suspension with pay allows us the time needed, if needed, to wait back from ISB to hear what their findings are. If we would have chosen suspension without pay, that would have been 30 days. And so that we were limited. And so we felt like this allows us to not start the year with teachers in positions where, should an unfavorable for them outcome come back, we would have to be removing them from the classroom. That would be another bad look for the district. And so we felt like this gives us the time to do what we need to do as a district, and there may be other action.
So the conclusion in November that the behavior was inappropriate does not warrant suspension? So
at that time, how that, and I think that some of what we discussed today was, do we need to review that policy? If there is a DCFS investigation, does it need to be a flat out, teachers are suspended? That's going to be something that we're going to be reviewing as part of that policy review.
Because currently it's subjective or not clear?
Great question. I think we do have disciplinary action with staff. And so I think that was followed. But I do think that that's something that we're going to be reviewing to make sure that it's appropriate for each event that does happen.
Are you aware that DCEFS was back in Quincy earlier this week and is relaunching the investigation?
So I did not read the news article. I was very busy preparing for today's, and I think that maybe broke yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to hear any details about that.
So the state didn't tell you?
We never hear about DCFS investigations unless we are the ones making the complaint. So that even with this issue that was brought back in November, the district only heard back the summary and the findings of it to be unfounded. We do not receive a copy of that report because we were not the complainant. And the only reason why we would contact them regarding it is if we would be disputing the findings. So it was not until the confidential report was released in May that we actually saw the report.
So the decision to hold this special meeting was independent of DCFS reopening its investigation?
Oh yes, we have to have 48 hours notice of an open meeting. So yes.
So again, the decision to call a special meeting, was it just the board member said, hey, we got to take another look at this?
Correct.
Okay, that's what happened. And that happened in
immediately
July?
Following last meeting.
Are you aware of the transfer request rate at Denman currently?
I don't know current numbers. I was aware of that prior to last week's board meeting. I believe there were 5 transfer requests at that time. I don't know how many total students that would have been, though it might have been 5 families.
All right.
But I don't have current, sorry, I don't.
No, but the superintendent had made the statement that transfer requests would be honored. He's now suspended, so what is the status of transfer requests?
So our district will still handle all of those, and I believe that typically happens in August. I think we have 2 rounds. I might speak incorrectly because I'm not totally versed in all this. It's something that personnel do, not the board. But I do believe we have 2 opportunities for transfer requests. One comes at the end of the school year, and then we have another one at the end of the summer because we may have some families that move in over that time that will be attending. So those will still be processed in the normal way, and I believe our teaching and learning department handle those.
Do you think your actions today, though, will alleviate parents' concerns and perhaps even prevent those transfer requests?
I mean, I think that's my hope, but of course it would be up to the parents and their comfort level, absolutely. You know, I just think ultimately as the head of a district, you have to be that final answer for the district. And I think in this particular situation, there were several steps that just fell short, and that we would have liked to see more leadership from that office.
Did Dr. Pettit volunteer to go on suspension? Can you tell us, did he say, it's probably best for the district that I leave in the interim, or was this the board's idea?
I think that's something that we discussed in exec, so I don't know that I feel comfortable releasing that necessarily. I want to be graceful and retain dignity for him. So,
is it more his how the QPS investigation was conducted, or how he communicated to parents?
Maybe a little of both. I think both probably contributed to that.
So do you anticipate that QPS would hold its own investigation and maybe interview people who said they offered to be interviewed but they weren't?
I think that's still part of what we're going forward with our policy. So I don't want to speak out of turn or overburden some people with additional tasks right now. I think we're in a place of, wanting to move forward and keeping that in mind, that we do have the best interest of the district at heart, and that's where we want to start.
Were there any?
Leadership.
Yes.
Since you don't specifically have an assistant superintendent position,
right?
What will happen now?
So we typically have protocols in place for when our superintendent would not be present. We'll follow those. We have spoken with the director of teaching and learning, Kim Dinkeller, to let her know. She's typically one that does. Between she or Ryan Wicker are the two that typically step in those situations.
Now, does it concern you at all? Is Wicker related to the principal?
Correct.
And that was an issue of contention for one of the parents.
Correct.
So are you concerned that he would be in the position then?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And in fact, we purposefully did not use him not me. The district did not use Ryan as the complaint manager on this issue specifically because of that.
All right.
So he's never been a part of this complaint.
So that was a statement of a misfact.
Correct.
Correct. Not a fact.
Yes. Yes.
No, thank you for the clarification.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah. Do we have any idea on what the extra cameras will cost and all that?
No, I don't. Let me know if you find out.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think, when we're talking about student security, I don't think that's a concern. I think that's a priority. And so, yeah.
How soon would you like to get those in place?
I think there needs to be a little bit of work done first. I don't know if it would be even feasible for that to be ready by the start of school on August 13th. That's pretty quick. We're in the 2-week zone here, but we'll do everything we can to do it as quickly as possible.
There's been a lot of discussion of, perhaps in some people's view, what went wrong. What do you think went right with this process, as difficult as it was?
I do think it opened our eyes to areas of need. And I think we are a board that is committed to addressing those needs. I've always operated from the point of, if we have something where we can improve, we're going to do it. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and so let's figure out where those things are and put measures in place to make them stronger.
What do you hope to see happen between now and the start of school as far as QPS and the community and the relationship there?
I think, like I said, I think the very first question, I think we definitely just want to have rebuild the trust and improve the communication. And, it was always my favorite time of year. Getting ready for school, going school supply shopping. I'm hoping that we're seeing all of those things happening and students ready to get back into the classroom and getting back to learning. I think that's what we really truly need, is to refocus and to regroup and get back to the teaching and learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything we neglected to ask that's important for parents to know? And children as well, let's not forget it.
Children, you have to go to school. Sorry, we're not canceling school. Just make sure that they're aware of our start dates. It is kind of special because we have, kindergartners that get some special treatment. We have 6th graders that get some special treatment at junior high, and then 9th graders with special treatment at the high school for our little soft start to get them, into their new schools. So make sure you know those start dates and come ready to learn. We're excited to have you back.
Any message for teachers who might feel this is a symbol of not supporting them in a difficult job, as we heard articulated during this meeting?
Right. And I think that's something that, when we know that as board members, our jobs are to support our teachers and our students. And usually the same thing makes those happen. And in this case, it was very difficult to figure out how we walk each of those paths almost independently. I'm a teacher at heart. I was a teacher for 20 years. And so I know that, this may cause some concern amongst our teachers. But we want to reassure them that, we're here for them. We want to hear them. We want to hear their voices as well throughout this process. And we just want to make sure that we honor them in their profession and what they love to do so much. And so it is not a reflection of all of our QPS students. We have an amazing staff, and we want to see them thrive.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.